Hidden Black Chapter of American History, the Untold War. History is written by the victors, but between the lines of mainstream narratives lie stories of extraordinary bravery, resilience, and unity. The story of the Black Seminoles, the descendants of escaped enslaved Africans who found refuge among Native American Seminoles, remains one of the most powerful yet overlooked chapters of American history. In this video, we uncover the origins, struggles, and enduring legacy of the Black Seminoles, a community that fought courageously for their freedom and autonomy against immense odds. Join us as we explore their astounding journey from refuge to resistance in the ever-changing American frontier. The story begins in the harsh realities of 18th-century America, where slavery was an entrenched institution and runaway slaves faced brutal repercussions. In the midst of this horror, a path to freedom lay in the untamed wilderness of Florida. During Spanish control, Florida became a sanctuary for African slaves who managed to escape, granting them a temporary reprieve from relentless oppression. Many of these runaways sought refuge within the Seminole tribe, a Native American group living in the region. The Seminoles welcomed them, and over time, the two communities forged an unbreakable alliance. Together, they cultivated a new identity, the Black Seminoles. Why Florida, you might ask? Florida's geography played a crucial role in providing a haven for runaways. Its swamplands and dense forests created natural barriers that were difficult for slave hunters to navigate. Moreover, under Spanish rule, Florida offered legal protections to those who escaped slavery. These laws allowed Black Seminoles to settle and build their lives in relative freedom for a time. However, this fragile peace was shattered when the United States acquired Florida in 1821. With new pressures to expand slavery into the newly acquired territory, the U.S. government began encroaching on both the Seminole and Black Seminole way of life. Together, these united communities faced the looming shadow of American militarization. The struggles of the Black Seminoles were far from passive. Their resistance was active, strategic, and daring. As the United States sought to tighten its grip on Florida, the Seminole Wars erupted. During these conflicts, outnumbered yet determined groups of Black Seminoles stood alongside their Native American allies. Their fierce resistance not only delayed U.S. expansion but established the Black Seminoles as key defenders of freedom in the fight against slavery. The First Seminole War, 1817 to 1818, marked the beginning of this heated resistance. Both Seminoles and Black Seminoles confronted U.S. forces, defending their homeland against incursions. For the Black Seminoles, the fight represented more than just territorial survival, it was a battle to preserve their freedom, dignity, and communities. The Second Seminole War, 1835 to 1842, became a defining chapter in Black Seminole history. As pressure from the U.S. government to remove all Native Americans and their allies from Florida escalated, the Black Seminoles played a vital role in coordinating military strategies and keeping their resistance alive. At the time, this was one of the longest and costliest conflicts in U.S. history. This war was primarily fueled by the U.S. government's attempts to forcibly remove the Seminole tribe from their land in Florida reservations west of the Mississippi River. Prominent Black Seminole leaders like John Hoss, also known as Juan Caballo, emerged during this period. John Hoss was not only an exceptional military strategist but also a symbol of hope for many. Alongside the great Seminole chieftain Osceola, Hoss led daring raids and protected his people from capture. Led by these two influential leaders, Chief Wildcat and John Hoss, the Black Seminoles utilized guerrilla warfare tactics to effectively combat the U.S. military forces. They were skilled horsemen and expertly navigated the dense swamps and forests of Florida, making it difficult for the U.S. Army to track and defeat them. The Black Seminoles' leadership in the resistance was crucial to the Seminole tribe's ability to continue fighting against the U.S. government's forces. They served as scouts, messengers, and skilled warriors, leading raids and ambushes against the U.S. Army. Their knowledge of the terrain and their ability to adapt to the harsh conditions of the Florida wilderness gave them a distinct advantage in the conflict. One of the key events that shaped the Second Seminole War was the ambush at the Dade Massacre in December 1835, where Seminole and Black Seminole warriors launched a surprise attack on U.S. troops, resulting in the death of over 500 soldiers. This event marked the beginning of a long and bloody conflict that saw both sides engaged in fierce battles and brutal skirmishes. The Second Seminole War is also significant as one of the largest slave revolts in U.S. history. Blacks wanting to fight their oppressors. Enslaved individuals from plantations in Georgia and South Carolina joined the Seminole resistance, seeking freedom and refuge among the Seminole tribe. This added a complex layer to the conflict, as the U.S. government sought to capture and return these escaped slaves to their owners while also fighting against the Seminoles. Despite being outnumbered and undersupplied, the Black Seminoles inflicted severe losses on U.S. troops, earning their reputation as fierce and resourceful fighters. Their enduring spirit made it clear that the fight for freedom would not easily be subdued. The unyielding resistance of the Black Seminoles and their native allies forced the U.S. Army into precarious stalemates. Through their sophisticated guerrilla tactics and knowledge of Florida's challenging terrain, they managed to keep U.S. forces at bay for years. This opposition created an unprecedented situation. The U.S. government was compelled to negotiate with the Black Seminoles. One such agreement, brokered in the late 1830s, allowed several Black Seminoles to resettle in the West rather than face re-enslavement. However, this agreement only provided temporary relief, as the government's broader goal remained relocating all Seminoles and erasing their alliances with African descendants. The U.S. government's relentless expansion policies culminated in the forced removal of Native Americans from their ancestral lands, known as the Trail of Tears. Signed into law by the Indian Removal Act of 1830, this policy uprooted tens of thousands of Native Americans and their Black Seminole allies. Many died during the grueling journey westward due to disease, starvation, and exhaustion. The Black Seminoles, considered potential slaves by many in the government, faced additional threats of re-enslavement as they were forcibly resettled. Despite these overwhelming odds, the Black Seminoles continued to resist. Their migration westward was not one of submission but a calculated survival move to preserve their identity and freedom in the face of extraordinary duress. The story of the Black Seminoles did not end on the Trail of Tears. Many fled farther west, eventually settling in Texas and northern Mexico. In Mexico, they established a thriving community known as the Muskogos. Here, they found relative safety, as slavery had been abolished in Mexico. The migration to Mexico became a bold declaration of autonomy. By crossing national boundaries, the Black Seminoles ensured that they would not be confined or subdued by one government's policy of oppression. Their choice to embrace a nomadic existence reflected their unyielding resolve to remain free at all costs. Today, the legacy of the Black Seminoles lives on in places across the Americas. From the Muskogos community in Mexico to descendants in Oklahoma, Texas, and the Bahamas, Black Seminole story continues to inspire. These communities honor their ancestors' tireless fight for freedom by preserving their unique cultural and historical heritage. The contributions of the Black Seminoles extend far beyond battles and migrations. They challenged the institution of slavery, defied systemic oppression, and proved that alliances between marginalized groups could yield powerful results. Their story reveals the deep intersections between African American and Native American histories, connections often ignored in mainstream narratives. The story of the Black Seminoles is about more than one tribe or one war. It's about resilience, unity, and the human quest for freedom. It reminds us that history is multi-layered, filled with untold stories and hidden actors who shaped the world in profound ways. By shedding light on these forgotten chapters, we enrich our understanding of the past and honor the heroes who fought to secure a better future. The Black Seminoles' fight for freedom remains a testament to the enduring spirit of resistance against injustice. Their legacy urges us to look closer at marginalized histories, to listen, learn, and ensure that these stories are never silenced again. As we reflect on the hidden histories that shaped our world, the story of the Black Seminoles offers invaluable lessons. Their courage, unity, and ingenuity in the face of overwhelming oppression inspire us to re-examine the forces shaping our present. The Black Seminoles remind us of the power of collaboration and resilience across cultural boundaries. They teach us that history is not a single narrative but a vibrant tapestry woven from the lives of countless individuals. Let us honor the Black Seminoles by sharing their story, ensuring that their fight for freedom is remembered and celebrated for generations to come. History enthusiasts everywhere, this is your call to action. Dive deep into these stories, preserve them, and bring them to light. The past, after all, is always present. Please subscribe to the Diaspora Mindset, help us reach our goal of 10,000 subscribers.